happening. Let's see. Second night in a row. These things are working. Welcome to the Tubadylan show. Nothing to see here. Like I said, really tired. This is like my before bed broadcast. But I give it to the West Coast. Yeah! Welcome, 0 viewers. Okay. Must be but this time I usually. Two viewers. Two viewers. But thank you to my loyal audience. Welcome back. I'm glad you can watch my show while you're doing whatever else you're doing. Hopefully you're accomplishing something. Because this particular show, I don't think accomplishes much. Other than I can do it, sort of. Hey, welcome to this show. You're just tuning in from the world, the universe. If you're just tuning in from the world, the universe, you might hear my voice better now. And you should hear it much better now. Testing systems. We're always testing and aligning systems here at the Tubadylan Broadcast Network. Welcome to the program, friends. This is a program where you can talk to me about anything in the chat. I will be friendly and honest with you about tubas, trumpets, trombones, drums, carpets, engines, engineers, radicalized, hydroxicated fountain lamps, and anything else you want to talk about. We are here for you. And if you want to give your horn a chance, just give it a chance to make it in the long, never-ending battle of life. Grab that horn while you're watching my show. Give it a little bit of love. Pour that water out. Check the slides to make sure they're lubricated. They don't have too much sludge around them. And oil up those valves. Be kind to one another, even better than you could be to your beautiful instrument. And now, welcome to the show. We have 5 viewers. This is very excellent. Now, we've doubled our normal, like 2 to 3 viewer count at this point, which gives us serious credibility, especially in political circles. But we don't talk about that stuff here. If we did, we could have even 3 or 4 more viewers. But we don't care. Because we're here just to be friendly with each other and talk about tubas, music and God, whatever you want. Hey Dylan, so I found an older King forward bell for $8.75 with free shipping. Should I go for it? Be my first concert that I own. You know, that's a good price, so it could be really good. It could be really good. It's possible. Like an old King tuba, if it's in really good shape. That's a really good price. But you have to really know that it's in great shape and you think it's going to play right. Old horns are cool, but if I think about it, I've owned several old horns over the years, and the ones that are remained in my stable for keeps are more modern instruments. They've always beaten out the older ones, despite the nostalgia, the look, the feel. You know what I mean? Like an old instrument, there's something historical about it. You know that people have played it. Maybe you've played it your whole life. Maybe your parents played it. My dad's cornet, if I could take back a moment in time that wasn't that meaningful monetarily other than that moment in time in my life, one of the biggest decisions I'd probably take back, just random, but it would be when I traded work on a tuba for my dad's cornet. That was super awesome, and that was the horn that I played when I was a little kid, like a baby, when I played around with the brass instrument the first time. Cool looking horn. Got a cam clean, so the lacquer is missing in most places, but I think it was professionally serviced and it comes from a reputable seller. Well, it's probably fine, it'll probably play. And it's a forward bell, so that's really cool. Forward bell is really cool. Forward bell's really cool. I haven't played a forward bell that I'm not saying it's bad, but I haven't played one in so long I couldn't say. But if you're playing outside all the time and you're comfortable playing a horn like that, then go for that. Yeah, man. I mean, that's pretty for the jazz stuff, and that's the way you want to go. You'd almost want to have a horn like that, you know, because you could just go right, especially even with a jazz setup like Mike's on stage or whatever, then you'd be really set with a horn like that. But yeah, I like that. I like that. It could be a really good horn. $8.75 is not bad. I think that would be a decent buy. Yeah. I'm curious to see how that goes. Well, like I said, I wouldn't do it, dude. Like it's a teeter-totter buy. It would be like a to me a toss-up. It seems like a good price, but you never know with a horn like that. I'm not telling you to get it. Right here, let the record show that, I mean, you might get that tuba and it is a piece of garbage, right? Can very well happen. So, but I think if you go for it, come on and tell me or whatever. Somehow tell me how it goes. I think that'd be interesting. I think the forward bell, I mean that's a cool concept. But the upward bell does sort of organize in an organ way, not in an organized way, unless you want to organize the orchestra in your mind. I think it organizes the tuba sound most of the way. A lot of orchestral players, composers wanted it as more of a bassy sound. Contra. Knew almost nothing about on a whim for a lot more. Daily driver. Right now. Yeah, well, any horn you play and that you can play, and if you're playing music, man, you're driving. And if you're playing music, you're driving. That's the way to go. That's so cool. Music's music is just such a love to do. So, like I said, you can't go wrong with any tuba. And that King tuba, oh man, it probably has that really, really nice sort of old brass smell to it. But those horns can have issues. The older they get, they will have issues, and they'll have been damaged, so that if you happen to hit it in the same spot that it may have had a repair over all those years, you could damage it even worse. I mean, things that you might not think about when getting a really old horn, but like most really old horns, if they look really nice, I guarantee you they've been rebuilt once or twice, maybe more. You never know, but they could, unless it is the old dude with the case under his bed for his whole life, never touched it. There's still tons of those instruments out there, I suppose. Oh yeah, well, yeah. For me, that's another reason why I wouldn't get a King, just for me, because I haven't gone anywhere forever, so it's not like I'm gonna take a horn somewhere to get fixed. I'm just here. Got my horns. They're cool. That's about it. If one of them breaks, I have backups. They're all in perfect working order. That's the coolest thing about. So far, my instruments do very, very, very well, despite what I believe to be poor care of them, but what might be, I would think, is better than the average Joe's care of them. But I always think it's poor care. I always feel like I can do a better job at taking care of everything I have, So, 3 viewers, wow. Hey, but we're streaming like 2 nights in a row. Like, this isn't that bad. I brought the music down a little. I'm going to bring it down more. Especially, this is not my favorite track. I'm going to move on from this one. Excuse us, here we're going to just don't really know what's going on here, but that could be better. Now, hopefully, I'm not hearing myself in an echo. That's the cool thing about what I've got going on tonight. I can see your chat over on this side. I'm always kind of confused because they have so many cameras in here that I can turn left and right, back and forth, and like just kind of see stuff. I could just chill here and sit here and do nothing. Like, I can open the news and just chill out and listen to music. Kings. Yeah, Danger's saying, I have a few Kings, and some were badly damaged, and because the parts are so scarce, they basically become scrapped. I pull parts off of. Do you love a favorite brand? Oh man, favorite brand. Favorite brand of tuba. Let's turn this on here. Oh man, if I had to pick a favorite brand, that's a hard thing to say. I think it's sad that there's no American brand that I would pick as my favorite brand. I don't totally know what you mean by favorite brand. Something that's very puzzling to me is the Yamayork double C tuba. In my thoughts for a favorite brand, I might want to go with Yamaha. But what I don't understand is the guys that bought these $25,000 to $35,000 instruments, that were the select few that were allowed to buy one from the handmade Yamaha custom shop. A lot of them, not all of them, have moved, or at least keep showing that they're playing other 6/4 double C tubas, like the Eastman, the Wessex, whatever. So where did those horns go? I haven't heard about those guys selling those horns. And why? That's my question. I want to hear why here on YouTube. Now I'm just thinking about what other people's favorite brand is. My question is, why isn't Yamaha my favorite brand? Because it maybe is. Yamaha might be my favorite brand if I have to choose. In some ways, it's hard to say that, although I have total love for the Japanese. But both my grandfathers, one in particular, fought very hard against the Japanese in the Second World War. And I think it's actually incredible and a great tribute to those people to have come back and become the very successful, peaceful, loving nation that it is. And of course, the people in the craft shops that build these instruments still follow the Japanese traditions of apprenticeship and like very, very fine workmanship above all else. So I don't think anyone can beat Yamaha. I think that Eastman does the same thing. The leader of Eastman and the way the Eastman company is organized, it's in a similar way to Yamaha. They probably saw what Yamaha did, and they have similar business techniques. They're a little bit different because they're Chinese, but in some ways they also have access to maybe more natural resources. Although, who knows, because the Japanese custom instrument shops always have the very, very best quality instruments. I've never seen one that was not, made just as well as the next one. So Yamaha has to be my favorite. Yamaha's my favorite. I don't like to take favorites, but I'm going to say Yamaha is my favorite musical instrument brand. There's a lot of instrument brands that I really like, and I like different things about them. And probably in junior high, I would have said that Miraphone was the best. And probably in high school. In college, I would have said that Hirschbrunner was the best, because that was what I put my whole investment in as being my main thing. And over time, I would say Yamaha. System blue. Well, I like the color blue. Blue is really great. So I don't know what System blue is, but I know that Smurfs are blue, that the sky is blue, that the sea is blue, that water, which we are made of and that we need, often appears as blue. But I don't know System blue, but I just really like the color blue. But I'll give you that. Like I couldn't say. System blue. If you tell me what it is, I might. It doesn't sound unfamiliar. System blue. It doesn't sound unfamiliar. It sounds like it could be something that I've heard of. But I'm a big dope and I forget stuff like System blue. It could be. Is that some sort of secret Russian military tuba manufacturing business that's making octa contrabass tubas that you can play with just one hand? Is that what's going on? I had heard from a friend that they were kings, that they're rebuilt, optimized for marching, or that they were Chinese horns well made. Oh, well, yeah, maybe so, maybe so. The Chinese make incredibly well made instruments today. The Eastman factory is absolutely top rate in everything it's doing, in its strings, in its woodwinds, and in its brass, in everything they do. Like, that was their goal, that we want to be as good, but not even as good. We want to be better than Yamaha, and we want to be as good or better than the custom luthiers in the United States, in Canada, and Europe. Like, we want to show that we have the wood and the materials to do this, and that we have the engineers to do it as well or better than you do. I mean, that's what the Chinese want to do, and that we can do it for, you know, a third of the price, and that's also includes sending it there to you. And that's what they're doing. And, well, I mean, that's why they're so powerful and they have so much money. They are selling us really wonderful products, the Chinese are. Why am I talking about that? I don't know. I'm fascinated by that. I've never seen one, but they're really pretty and expensive. Oh, yeah. Opinion on the System blue. Oh, well, System blue. Gosh, I'll look that up. System blue. I have an iPad here. Haha, hey, look at this. This is modern technology here. I'm streaming, and now I'm going to look this up here. So what do I look up? System blue tuba or euphonium? I think it would be System blue. Oh, I see. Trumpet. Well, there's a trumpet. Let's just say tuba just to see if they have one. Oh, professional marching tuba. Their website's a little bit slow for me, but here I'll hang on for a second. Oh, there it comes. SB50. Professional marching tubas. Oh man, I want to say, I mean, that thing looks super awesome. It's expensive, and why? So you your life really is dangerous if you're doing marching gigs, moving gigs, standing gigs, and you actually think that is more comfortable than with a strap. I don't know. Well, you might be right. Like it's hardcore, man. Yeah. To me, holding a horn like that, it's similar, even as well balanced as it might be. To me, it's kind of like a trombone, but like double the trombone almost, which to me would be hard to walk with, march with. The Miraphone 1295 S. Well, the 1295. I'm thinking, is that the New York Special double C 5/4 piston valve Miraphone? Remind me if that's the one. Bought one similar to that, but it's lacquered and 3 valves. Yeah, well, 3 valves, that's really limiting. 3 valves is really limiting. I wouldn't want to have 3 valves as a tuba player. I think that, yeah. System Blue, not Miraphone. Yeah, I think that well, I just know for me, because I had one severe orthopedic injury early in life, and I knew that I was never going to be athletic again. It was like a miracle I could still walk. And that was that. So, but at that time, I knew, I was like, I'm just going to play concert tubas, and if someone wants me to play a sousaphone or whatever, too bad. Okay, it's the 5/4 cc 4/1. Yeah, the 1295. Yeah, I've tried that horn. I mean, I liked it. It almost had a little bit of the kind of, just for me, I only tried one of them, and I played it enough to know I kind of have an opinion on it. I felt it was kind of meh, but if I spent a few days with it, I might have felt differently. It's kind of like the Wessex tuba I was really impressed with, but I also felt there was that meh factor, that sort of, there's nothing super magical about this. It seems like it works great, but there's you don't have the feeling of something special with it. Oh, well, 5th and 6th you can set up in different ways. The 5th valve used to be a 1-step system, and now it's sort of more of I think a 1.5-step system. The 4th valve, let me see, are you asking what oh yeah, 5 and 6. Well, yeah, the 6th valve could be whatever. It could be like a 1-step or 1.5. I think on my F tuba, I only had one tuba that had 6. And one was a 1.5 and the other one was an additional step, which got you to 2.5 for both. And you could set them up any way for whatever combination for the particular key or song you were playing in. So it was a really good system for orchestral playing, and also for really sticking out. Those, the 6-valve rotary valve tuba is just the perfect tuba to play sort of F tuba parts for the major orchestra. Unless you're doing soloistic or kind of fun parts or polka parts or things where you might use a piston valve F. But you can get away playing a piston valve F for everything, like Carol Jantz or whatever. She plays that one for everything, and I'm sure everyone loves it. I mean, she plays great. So, favorite rotary 5-valve C tuba. Well, that's a good question. I mean, I love that I'm getting these questions because these are really fun questions for me. Favorite rotary 5-valve C tuba. I played several of them. Almost my favorite, if not my favorite, is the Bruckner which I have here. That tuba is super. Here, I'll just hold it because if I want to talk about it, that makes some amount of sense. Get a mouthpiece. Let's see here. That's fine. Five, 1, 6 is 1/2 step. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Maybe that's what mine was. A bit more than 1, 1/2. So the low register has better intonation. Yeah, that sounds maybe that's how mine was. It's been a long time since I've had that tuba, but that sounds like that might have been about right. The famous Tommy Johnson Rudy Meinl F tuba that he bought from his dentist. Let's see here. So the question is, what's my favorite one? It's a bit more than 1 and 1/2. So the low register has better intonation. Yeah, well that makes sense. That's why you'd want to do that. That's why a 6-valve F tuba is ideal. And if you're playing something that you can practice, it's perfect. I just wouldn't bring it to the studio if you need to get things done, because you might really, some of the stuff, if you have low notes, you gotta maybe mess with those and how it feels in the hall that you're in for a rotary valve tuba. I mean, that's what I would guess. You know, but this tuba is probably my second favorite rotary valve C tuba that I've ever played. My first favorite is a tuba that I wouldn't recommend because of its terrible ergonomics. But it was a Miraphone 185 double C tuba. That's my favorite ever. Yeah. Now to be able to play this through my system, well, Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I probably just put you through a whole crap of pain right there. If I want to play this, I have to switch microphones, which I didn't do. Sorry about that, guys. Do you happen to offer lessons? I saw you were in the Matthews concert band. I live in Matthews, so I thought you might as well ask. Oh, John, right on. My wife wants me to give lessons. Yeah, maybe so. We haven't left the house in 14 months, so like my daughter takes piano lessons from a really wonderful and excellent piano teacher and jazz artist that lives like across the cemetery and a few cow fields from here. but right now we're not really doing lessons. But yeah, I love to teach tuba. So yeah, I would be maybe open to that. I used to do it back in LA and really enjoyed teaching. The Bruckner is the 291 double C. So the Miraphone has a 191 double C that's a double B flat tuba, and a 291 double C. That is their double C tuba. This one And it's basically the 191 design wrapped and added to become a C tuba. And Miraphone, of course, they worked on this one quite a bit to get it the way they really wanted it. And like I was talking about yesterday, was this really sort of obscure turn angle of the upper bow that is really interesting, and I think that's why it has such a poppin' but low register. Beyond any double C tuba, it's just, you can play all the entire low register without any trouble whatsoever. I like teaching. Yeah, so I kind of like teaching. I think about setting something up on YouTube even to have like virtual lessons and let people watch in just for fun. I really enjoy it. My doctor just told me I should start taking private lessons to get a job in college. Well, yeah, any way you can connect with a musician who cares about you, someone of wisdom, whether even if they're not a musician, but who like really legitimately cares about teaching you something that's a good thing, that's a good thing. So try to take private lessons if you have a chance, if you can afford it, or at least get to know people who play music and try to gain knowledge from them as well. So not everyone can afford to, or these days, get together with someone who gives private lessons. I wish I had private lessons right now. I'm not a fan of virtual lessons other than recorded stuff, honestly. But I've thought about, like, I'd be probably happy to give a virtual lesson. I'm just not so much into the business of it. I like just coming on YouTube, and I'd almost rather find a way to Zoom everyone in and just have an actual virtual lesson here and just give it for free. I don't know how to explain it, but I like connecting with people, and I don't know. I've always felt it's weird charging for my time, even though I've been paid for my time for other things. But for YouTube, I kind of like doing this and just doing it. Did you figure out that Rodecaster Sling Studio situation? It's Mario, we were talking about earlier today. Well, I kind of think there's a way to do it. The last time I did it, there was a delay. I just have to try it again. So yeah, so Doc, man, I totally want to do it. So what he's talking about, so Doc Rio, he's my man. I've known him since we were like kids. I mean, if you consider like 16-year-olds kids, then we were kids, right? And I don't know, he has Instagram, and he goes on, he talks about going live and all these things, and so he wants me to have me on. And I said, wouldn't it be cool if I could come on and like I could switch all my cameras, like when I'm on a Zoom call with him? And I've sort of tried it, but the output that I'm getting here still having these issues with the audio being delayed. So I'm just trying to get that to work. And I really want to go on his show or bring him on my show. Like, that's the other thing. I think I can have live Zoom guests on here too. I'm just not quite set up yet for it, and it's just only due to my own laziness and lack of tech savvy in certain ways. And the fact that this studio is now lagging in technology in certain ways. And that I've been limited in certain ways that have been driving me nuts. But that's always part of the fun of it. Millionaire Flicks. Oh, well, okay. I'll go on Millionaire Flicks. What is that? What is that about? I don't know anything about any movie that made over $200,000. So I don't know why you would have me on. Like every movie I've been involved with made way less than that. Special Station by J.T. Fox. Okay. Well, Special Station sounds pretty cool. Yeah, J.T. Fox. That's a cool. Is that the? It's not Jamie Foxx, is it? No, it can't be Jamie Foxx. Like the guy from the movies and Ray Charles. People who have made smart investments. Oh, how's the cartoon Tuba coming along? Well, the carbon tuba. Well, no. Well, I think a carbon fiber tuba would be a terrible investment, but it could possibly be the greatest thing ever. Okay. I mean, if I go on this show, I can tell you about some really bad investments. And one would be a carbon fiber tuba, which I still honestly would like to invest in at some point. Well, I think it would be cool if it was done right. So, I mean, my thoughts going out to the builders is that it's not only possible, I think you can make one just as good or better than the trumpets and trombones out there that are just super, super, super cool. Yep. Okay. Well, I can go on and talk about that. I don't know that station. That's not really a millionaire investment. That's like a lose your money investment because no one else is going to want to buy a carbon fiber tube except for me. So that would mean I'd lose my money doing it. So these are things that millionaires get into that make them not become millionaires ever again. Favorite 6/4 cc tuba to have you played? Would you consider owning a couple of large double Cs for different musical applications? What would those be? Dalton, that's an interesting question. And Doc, yeah, I bet. At this point, I have the whole gambit of double C tubas here. I have a lot of very different styled ones that fit my needs in really different ways. And of course, my needs are like, what? Right here, talking to you and like showing you the tubas. Maybe play. I've played a few recordings here and there for people, but not much. No, you would just talk about your journey, not about being a millionaire. Well, I'm not a millionaire, but about being financially intelligent. Oh, well, if you're financially intelligent, hopefully you're a billionaire by now. I mean, come on. But okay. I could try, but I have no... I'm definitely not any expert or have any advice in being financially intelligent. Other than I've told people forever that gold has been a good investment and has maintained its value. And since 1985, I've been a very strong believer and proponent in Apple computers and in entertainment in general. So that's always good. Apple computers rave on. The entertainment business has been fizzling out slowly for the last 20 years, and it's only getting worse at this point. It's too bad. There's too much content now to make the kind of money people want to make doing films even. So I think being a YouTuber is like a great idea for people, frankly, if you want to be creative these days. Not that like I try to make money on YouTube. I just enjoy coming on and talking to whack jobs like Doc Rio TV. I love this guy. I really do. Well, yeah, if you want to get into that, that's a whole nother thing. But That's true. But I'm not a king. Just my name. Have you ever thought about reviewing the Wessex Chimbosso? Yeah, that would be cool. I think chimbossos are pretty cool. Not an instrument that you'd want to like carry around and play as your main. You'd have to play something else. Like, there may be a few people on Earth that literally take one chimbosso to a gig once in a while. More likely, people who have to play chimbosso at a gig have a chimbosso in the hall in a locker that stays there with the gig. And who knows if they have one at home or not, right? So why would someone want... I mean, for me, the only reason I want a chimbosso would be like, I guess, to make a review of it. I would enjoy that, but then I'd have to send it back. It's too big and too bulky to keep here. And I don't think anyone would love me playing it. It's made to give a very, very particular sound, which is just a sort of blatty, extra loud bass trombone tuba combo sound, just to smack, smack, smack the bass low notes in those huge Hollywood mixes. And I guess the same for composers. I think that's why they use the chimbosso. Well, kings are blessed with the metals of the earth. When God ordained the universe, he set up a system, and for some reason he made all these different things, and somehow he put into human beings a way to manipulate metal, little shiny things, flakes, rocks in the earth, into this. Like, you gotta be kidding me. But that's right. That's what God did. Now, it was a human being was the craftsman in this endeavor, of course, but yeah, you can believe it, dude. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm just always astounded at instrument makers and the way, like, the human spirit and ingenuity and love of music and sound has been able to make this just wonderful, like, just huge dynamic rainbow of sound in the instruments that we make here. I mean, you ever think about it, like, is there on alien planets, if you believe that there could be life out there, me, I'm not so sure. I don't know. Intelligent life, hard to know. It appears that God made intelligent life that weren't humans and calls them angels and demons. Now, who's to say exactly what those are and what they do, what they look like, what they sound like? It's hard to know. If you just take the Bible as your basis for human history, which is like, I try to make that my number one thing, because I think that's the most important one. What's my favorite tuba piece ever? I don't know. There are several tuba pieces that I really, really love. So, wouldn't know. Wow, 7 viewers. That's a great number. 7. Wow. Like 7 days of the week. So, this is the power of going on twice in a row. I'm still here in the middle of the night. Like, my teenage girl, who's not a teenager, she just won't fall asleep till like midnight anyway. Poor girl. But I had the same thing. Like, I just would lie in bed at night and have trouble sleeping. Poor kid, but I don't know. Don't blame her. I had the same issues. What have you played the most? Peace. What is my favorite brass song? Oh man. I don't know. I'm kind of a Bach purist, so I'm so thankful to him for making those cello suites and also making just a slew of sonically pleasing music that can be played on one instrument. There's a few others that have done that, Telemann and others but Bach was the most proficient. So maybe the cello suites would be my favorite, just because I love it, love it, love it, love it. It's just one instrument, and it takes you through all these different feelings, which a symphony can, which a good rock album can. They all do it in different ways, but like the fact that someone sitting in front of you playing one instrument can take you through a whole set of feelings, in emotions from just one type of sound, the cello suites. It's meant for the cello, but I've heard it played absolutely wonderfully on several other instruments. That's my favorite tuba piece. I'm sure there's some of me playing it on YouTube. That'll be Bach and write a symphony. My favorite line. Well, you know. Yeah, man, I dig that dude. Whatever. That's. I mean, but it's not like he's my so. You want to throw out just favorite musicians? I mean, I've got just several different musicians. Like Bob Dylan has to be one of my favorite musicians because I'm named after him. My brother's named after him in a strange way. And the song that, the reason why my mother named me Dylan, wanted to name me after Bob Dylan, the same song, which is called Forever Young, was my wife's favorite song that she loved like her whole life as her favorite song. And I think that that's super cool. So I put Bob Dylan on my list of favorite musicians. Bob Dylan's your second cousin. Wow, that's far out. That's pretty awesome. Wow. Well, that's cool. Well, here's the deal. I'm named after Bob Dylan. My parents thought about naming me Bob Dylan. I was born in 1974. So Bob Dylan had been on the scene for a good, 6 or 7 years or something like that. Maybe a few more than that. But they were huge fans of him. And my mother said, well, I'm just going to call him Dylan. And at that time, people weren't named Dylan as a first name. So I was like the only Dylan around in the 70s that I ever knew. So that's cool. And what's kind of interesting about Bob Dylan, so Bob Dylan's actual name is Robert Zimmerman, right? Robert Zimmerman. And he changed, he went by Bob, and he needed a stage name. So why did he pick the name Bob Dylan? By all accounts, he picked Bob Dylan because his favorite poet was a poet named Dylan Thomas. A really open poet, like way open about his life and different things. Anyway, long story short, Bob Dylan, Robert Zimmerman, is named after Dylan Thomas. I was named after Bob Dylan. And my younger brother was subsequently named Thomas. So we are Dylan Thomas for Bob Dylan's own naming. So in some very strange ways, my parents made our names come out of the brain of Bob Dylan. I love his music, but I also love Miles Davis, like tremendously, Louis Armstrong, Frank Zappa. I mean, you can't not say the Beatles. Elvis, of course. But yeah, I mean, like, just those are the pop artists. And Michael Jackson, probably my very favorite, Michael Jackson. Oh man, yeah. I mean, Louis Armstrong. That guy had such an incredible career in a time where people were so different in this country and not used to someone like him being around. And I think he still had a rather joyful life, but it's hard to tell. By his stage presence, you can tell he really loved and connected with his audiences. And Miles is my favorite. Miles has my very favorite. It's probably one of my favorite lines in a movie called Dingo that he was in. And he was talking to this guy who was explaining how his whole life story had led up to him meeting his trumpet hero, who was Miles Davis. And he said something like, what a great coincidence it was that we ran into each other back then when I was 5 years old and your plane crashed in my deserted, weird desert Australian island or whatever. And it just, Miles turned to him and just Miles. And he's playing this character that's named something else, but it really is just kind of playing himself. And he kind of turns to him and he goes, there are no coincidences. None. There are no coincidences. None. And I don't know, man, that line, I believe that to be true. I think that every moment and instant that we are here on this life, in this life, on this earth, is a gift from God. And any way that we can connect with people is an absolute wonderful blessing. So, I mean, for me, the main way is I connect with my family. But I'm excited that I can connect with like 6 or 7 people even here on YouTube and talk about tubas or whatever. Louis is the only one who played every single standard ever written or recorded. Well, obviously up until he was gone. I mean, come on. If you're talking about standards, you don't want to leave out like One Direction and Beyonce and stuff like that. I mean, come on. But yeah, I mean, I'll give you that. But Louis the guy had a perfect ear. He could play anything he wanted to. And he had a joy of life. He kind of flowed through his horn. What an entertainer. What a great guy. Like, oh man, what a cool dude. Yeah, I figured you meant that. I was just messing with you. Dude, I'm just messing with you. No, I told you. Dude, I know. Yeah. Oh, man. So, yeah, music is the best. I mean, I don't know. At least it makes me feel good. It gets me to sleep. And I've had a really blessed life, and I have a busy life. I work hard. I have a family, and I work hard for them, and I try to spend as much time with them as I can. But also, there's something about it, and I'm not. I could say I'm a musician in some respects, but not like I used to. But I just understand, respect, and love music, and I think I have the proper respect for it to know that a true musician kind of could ease into to any different situation as a musician. So there is part of me that absolutely yearns to play. I'm just like, I just die to play. It's a universal language. So I play with myself, and I play. That's why I play so much guitar, and I would never play it on the air here. I think my guitar playing is strange and mostly crummy. Very, very seldomly almost semi-interesting at best. But I do it all the time because I love music. It enriches my soul so much, so much, so much, so much. I just love it. But like for me, like I kind of think the horns are somehow built into me. I don't know what to say, but it does go through generations of my family that my dad played horn and my grandpa could do it. You know, I played trumpet and whatnot. Taught myself guitar because I wanted to branch out in different genres. Yeah, well, guitar is a band in a box that you can bring with you. Of course, you can bring a tuba, you can bring a trumpet. A trumpet is going to probably be about as heavy as a guitar, maybe a little bit less or smaller, depending on what you want to bring with it. But maybe about the same weight as a decent acoustic guitar. Of course, it depends on how heavy your case would be and how bulky that is. A trumpet's much less bulky. But a guitar is everything. You can play all the chords. You can play rhythms. You can play attacks. You can sustain. It drives me crazy. Like my hands hurt from playing guitar, and I never can do it right. But if I sit down with people and I have a guitar, I can usually jam and play pretty well. But when I play by myself and I want to play cowboy songs, I really suck. I don't know why. Okay. I could test it right now. I have my acoustic and my cornet in my room right now. Well, that's pretty awesome. So it makes me put it down more and only use my main axe as a solo instrument. Yeah, I mean, like your trumpet, you're talking about your trumpet as your solo instrument, or you're talking about a certain guitar as your main axe? I don't know. Like, I'm addicted to trumpets, guitars, and tubas. All three of them, man. Like, in a crazy, weird way. Like, I just shouldn't be, but yeah. Guitar and piano. Yeah. Well, yeah, piano for me too. Like, the thing about piano for anyone who knows music, you don't necessarily have to be a pianist. That's a whole nother degree of skill and education. Like my daughter's going through that. She's getting pretty good at it. My mom was really good at it. I cannot do it. I can't sit in front of a chart and play piano other than like pinking out chords and playing a melody or whatever. But I get, I gotta look, and I don't know what I'm doing. But I can sit at a piano for hours and play all kinds of cool stuff. That sounds really cool. And, that's the thing about the piano. Well, hey, this is the Tuba Dylan channel, and I have to say the tuba is the best instrument because it amplifies the human soul, and especially the soul of a man, or let's just say a woman that really wants to have a deep inner bass presence of her musical soul connect with the audience. And the amount of engineering and that you got to put into this, and the amount of work of turning all of these tubes, connecting them in ways that resonate and don't screw with other paths of tubes, and that you can turn it into something that makes a really neat bass sound that I think sounds better than any string bass. Sorry, string bass players, electric bass players, whatever. I say you're a bunch of pussies. Bass is, whatever. I don't really mean that. I'm just playing with you. Started on trombone, ended up playing all the brass because I went to a small school. Trumpet and French horn was your tuba. Your trumpet and French horn was your tuba. Well, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that, Doc. What is that? And that sounds funny though. But I don't know what you mean exactly. But I remember you playing them, and I thought that was super cool. Yeah. You and I both, like, when we were in high school, most people focused on one instrument. There were some of the really, really good players on one instrument also could play piano, which was unfortunately not me. I wish I had learned piano properly as a kid. But I remember, Mario, you played trumpet and French horn, and you were, so you played dual instruments. I'm sure you probably could have played tuba too. And I played tuba and trombone. Like I could interchange between those two, and at least in my own mind, I couldn't tell which one I played better or worse or whatever. I thought that trombone was cooler, and I had a better chance of getting chicks if I stuck with trombone. I got gigs on the tuba, so I wasn't stupid, because like no one barely ever paid me to play trombone. People would pay me to play tuba. So like that was like, okay, I will play the tuba. And everyone wanted me to play tuba and everything, at least back then, when I was a kid, because I was really good at the tuba. That was my problem. My instructors all wanted me to stick to one, but I ended up being decent on a lot rather than master of one. Oh, well, I just say you should be master of all of them, which, I can't really say anymore because like that would be a cocky thing to say, but I think you have to have confidence as a musician going into whatever situation you are. So, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. You should just be a master of music and then have confidence and be wise enough to say if someone called you, you're a master of music, someone called you and said, I need someone to play soprano cornet. And someone like me, and like, oh, yeah, I have got a soprano cornet, yeah. And I can make really good sounds on it, yeah. But honestly, I'd probably tell them, it's going to take me about 78 times before I can get it. But I'll try. Oh, yeah, tuba players back in the day. Who's the best tuba player that you ever knew? Because I've known some really good ones, dude. Like really, really good ones. Yeah. A lot of people would say that like my teacher in high school back then, oh yeah, okay, whatever. Doug Tornquist, he's still there in LA playing everything that's important there that they really want to pay a tuba player for. He might be one of the best. You eating too. Oh wow. Eating was like one of the best things I was good at? Maybe. I liked eating. Forgot about who? Oh, Doug? Yeah, Doug's still in LA, and that guy he works at home. They send him stuff. He records tracks for probably pretty decent dough, No, you're eating. Oh, okay, well, okay. So I thought like I was your favorite person that was good at eating and your favorite tuba player. But obviously I'm just your favorite tuba player. So I'm kind of disappointed because everybody eats. Not everyone plays the tuba. So to be good at playing the tuba, you're like one in... How many people play the tuba? Like 1 in 500 people or something? But if you thought I was good at eating, dude, like everyone on earth eats. So that would have been really something. Yeah, dude, Yeah, Doug does really well now. Doug's, Doug's, and he's still, even during the pandemic, apparently he's been doing fine. Because there's still a lot of recording stuff. But that's fewer and far between, and now it's getting to the point where you can do that. So, I don't know. Like, if I was scoring a film, I'd probably do it all virtual. I mean, just if I had a little bit of time, I'd just do it all within my library music. This is kind of how it's done anyway. And then hire a very minimal orchestra, and I think you can almost do it now on your own, like self-produce it, which I think is cool in some ways. The Hollywood system is totally gone in other ways, obviously. I'm glad you're laughing, man. That's pretty good. I think you're laughing. It's the virtual laugh on the YouTube virtual laugh. But that makes me happy. Toby says, she tells me, she's like, well, this is the time that I fiddle diddle around at home. Yeah, I've got a relatively busy life. Like, I work hard. I try to train up my kids. Try to keep my garden. Try to keep super fit as like an Olympic athlete. No, really, I'm terribly not fit. So, but I try to exercise to some extent. And she keeps telling me, go on live every day. And so here I am talking, and yeah, look at Mario. You can do it. Like, you go on every day, right? I mean, I don't know if I'd go on 6 days, because I really respect the Sabbath. If I went on the Sabbath, I'd have to make it a show somewhat about that, and not in any kind of judgmental way, but just in why I enjoy it so much. But yeah, she goes, just go on every day for some amount of time and say hello to whoever wants to go on. Like, yeah, it sounds like it's kind of fun. That's what you do, right? Well, you go in your car and you do it. I don't know. For me, when the day winds down, I kind of look in my studio here and I go, oh, there's so many things I want to do with it. And sometimes I'll get sidetracked and I'll start playing with something, putting strings on a guitar. It'll just take me all night long. And I think, well, I could just go live and put the strings on the guitar on the internet, right? And people could talk to me while I'm doing it. Yeah, you're everywhere going on, man. YouTube, not as much. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, because you have Instagram, you're probably on whatever, Snapchat, yeah, all those things. YouTube's like old school, long form movie and TV format kind of thing, not necessarily the place to live stream, right? It's not the place to live stream. I mean, if you really want to make a living at it and get viewers, like I don't get any viewers when I live stream. Yeah. So the best way is to maybe restream it and make sure you're going to everyone like you do, Mario. And Clubhouse. Right, so when you go live, you're on what? 4 things at once? 5 things at once? You've got like a restream going to YouTube, Facebook, whatever, right? I don't know. Does TikTok have live streaming yet? That's the thing my kids are doing. So that's the thing. The Tubadylan Show, brought to you by Evian Water. Evian Water, I highly recommend it. They make the best bottles. You buy them. You can bring it to the tennis court. You fill it with your tap water at home. Like you drink it and enjoy it one time. It's absolutely wonderful. And then you fill it with your tap water at home and bring it to the tennis court and say, hello, good day. Yes, Evian is the greatest water. That's your Clubhouse. You could take it there. Periscope became Twitter streaming. Was Periscope to Twitter. Yeah, that's why I stick to YouTube, because there's just too many things, and I don't know. I kind of like going on and connecting and chit-chatting with whoever's on in the middle of the night, but I don't know, like, you're just saying that if I do that, I'll get more people watching, and you're probably right. I just seem happy with YouTube with like 5 people. I don't really care. Yeah, but you're probably right. Like my wife would be like, "Why aren't you doing all these different things to make more money?" You know, yeah, you're probably right. But I mean, yeah, the YouTube revenue has been going down, and YouTube takes all my content and just pushes it to the back burner. Yep. You know, because I talk so much about like non-politically correct things, you know, like using lanolin, which is actually nipple oil on my slides. So tuba players have not dared to talk about using nipple cream on their slides and how great a slide lube it is until I started talking about it on the internet. And almost from the very start, the YouTube executives caught that in their algorithms and labeled it as like terrible pornography. And I wrote to them and I said, no, this is an actual thing. We put these, you know, so that just happens to be what it's called, and you have to buy it. It's like pregnant women get it. But it's a natural substance that's kind of like Vaseline that you can put on the slides of your instrument that really don't gunk it up too bad on the inside. But ever since I started talking about that, you know, the Tubadylan show went from, you know, 40, 50,000 weekly viewers down to like just 4 live viewers that are here today. And I'm absolutely not telling you what really happened right now. I hope you know that. Oh man, it's the best, man. Yeah, slide grace, this is the best. But like, here's the deal, like YouTube's really careful about. I got to put it in front of my face to make it get in focus. Hold on. It's the best, man. Let's do it this way. It's the real deal right there. I encourage you, if you're watching my show and you're a horn player, to take care of that instrument, to lube it, be gentle to it, oil it up, take good care of it, because it can take care of you. That's the best stuff. It's super inexpensive. You can get a big thing like that. Dude, you get a big thing like this, and I mean, this has lasted me years. And I have like a backup one somewhere too. So, but it's not even halfway. And I take really good care of my instruments. So, which way? This way. Let's go this way. Let's see if you can get a view of that. Oh, come on, focus in there. Come on, you old Sony, ancient Sony A7 III. Now there's a A1, A9 II. Oh no, my robot died, guys. My wide camera that moves back and forth. It always dies at a certain spot. There it goes. That camera there, it's stopped. The crystal ball camera. What do you guys think of that crystal ball? It's pretty weird, huh? I put the lanolin up. You can sort of see it in the crystal ball. Like, and put it right in the middle of the crystal ball. See that? Oh, weird. Of course, this shot's supposed to be moving side to side, but it died. I hear weird stuff in this music, but I like it. Oh, wow. How long have we been on tonight? This is like a record. I should probably hit the hay. Trent Hamilton, oh man, I can't leave now. It's like my favorite YouTuber just came in here. Considering you have a lot of brass, that's still very full. 80 minutes, nice. Well, yeah, I was saying, like, yeah, my robot camera died. 80, that's about what it gets, so, you know. There's like the backside camera, everyone's favorite. Oh yeah, everyone wants to see that. Huh, this is why Mario knows what kind of gear I have and says, you have no excuse. You should be able to do your Zoom call with all your cameras. And I think you're right. My excuse is I just don't know what I'm doing. This is the camera that makes it easy for me to chit chat with the audience. Those are you folks right there. Hello. Welcome to the Tuba Dylan Show. Bring up a little bit of tunes. Hello. I hope you're enjoying your evening and grooving here. All these tunes are brought to you by Epidemic Sound. Okay, I'll play a piece on this here then. Because I'm about to sign off, so I have a special request from my favorite YouTuber, so I should play something on the tuba. So let's do it. Let's see here. I gotta make sure I do it right. So I gotta turn off my talking mic and make sure that I'm getting something into this mic up here. So hold on a second. I'm working on it. Yeah, working on it, folks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to turn off my computer audio. There we go. That worked. And then try to get the tuba to go through one of my nice microphones up here into Logic and somehow back in to the internet. So I got to turn this back up and see if we have any tuba sound. Now I'm going to mute the Sony, which is my talkie mic right here, for a second here. Okay, so I'm still working on it, folks, if anyone's still watching. 6 people watching. Yeah, I blew a fuse last time. I just plugged... Oh, I'm hearing something coming in. This is a good sign. Okay, let's see. I should really set this up beforehand, but... Like I tell my audience, I have a... let's see. It's not going through. Ah, something's happening. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Hopefully. It should be going out there, but it's not. Puzzling, guys, puzzling. So this is like, yeah, this is a Bruckner. Boosted 40 dB. I got to boost like 80 dB. It's not even coming through. Well, that's fine asking me to play something. I love playing stuff. I should have been set up correctly. Like I thought I tried it before I started. So you're absolutely right to ask me. And the fact that it's not working right is pathetic, you know, because I thought I had it working right before I started. Like I can see that the sound's going into certain spots where it should. But here, let me try this. This might not sound great, but I think this is what was happening before. Nope, there's nothing. Oh man. I don't hear it. There's like nothing going through. So you're hearing it, sorry, you're hearing it through this. I'm totally messing it all up. Yeah, now it's all peaked out. That's going through my lapel mic because I'm an idiot. Yeah, like it's not going through my system right now. I can't say why. It's probably because I'm a fool and I have some solo pushed that I can't figure out right now. I thought it was all hooked up. Like, oh man, let's see if we can hear this. Well, I hear it. There we go. Well, if I can hear that, then why can't I hear this one? Well, there you go. Okay. Something's happening. It's all peaked out. Why does it do that to me? Oh, not cool. Okay, try again, but I know it'll peak if I do it. Is that coming through yet? Yes, but low, now raise the dB. Oh, even more. Okay. Really? The output? It scares me. Blasting the low one. Yeah, that's what I think's going on. I gotta check this another time. I kind of hear it, like I'm hearing an echo here because it's just, man, this is just pathetic, this show. But hey, waiting for the next test. That's what we'll do. We'll do it on the next show, trying to get a better sound. I said on the next show, we'll try to get a better sound and make it mix so that you can hear stuff and whatever. I hear a weird echo now. Could not hear what you said, but can hear better. Okay. Can you hear me now though, right? Well, you can hear me now. Maybe. Well, let's see. Is there anything to play? This is like a real book. Oh, man. I don't even know. Oh, I love this one. Play like... Okay, let's see what happens. I don't even know if that came through. I hear a weird echo, so maybe turn that down. Yeah, but this is like the end of my show. Keep going. Pedal tones. Oh, you can hear it now. Well, I'll play some more. Okay, let's see. Whoever's on, I don't care. Let's see. I know I touched something. Oh, yeah, I got to turn this off. Crossed-eyed pedal tones. Yeah, well, you know, got to do it however you can do it. Sweet. Okay, this is called Won't He Get Lonely? And I'm probably not going to get through more than a few measures. I've never played it before. It's going to sound crummy, but I think I'm going to do it just for fun. Here we go. Oh man, you said it sounded like I wasn't playing, so I screw everything up. I don't even know how to do this thing. Hopefully you can hear me now at least. Like, oh, piano, easy, mo, extreme. Yeah, I hear you. Like, oh, man, that whole time I think I had the mic off. Well, it wasn't the best performance anyway. I don't know. I've never. I kind of like the piece. Like, I'd almost want to try it again. Better on F tuba. This is a work in progress. Like, hey, I like this tune, so like I'll come back tomorrow and I'm gonna try to get it to go through the good microphone and get it to work. And there's a goal for me to actually come back on for another night, unless, you know, you never know. The world could shift underneath this house and the granite rocks could push up through it just like in the Superman movie, and we'd have to flee because our toilets wouldn't work if that happened to this house. It would be terrible. So that's possible. But I'll try to come on again and do it right. Oh, no, I don't. Yeah. The biggest thing that I know is that I don't know what I am doing. That's one thing I certainly know that I never know, and that I always know that I don't know because I know it to be true. And that is absolutely not a fact. Don't you forget that. Don't take anything you see on this channel seriously, other than, truth be told, wear your seatbelt, be kind to other people, try to find a purpose in your life. Like, take those things seriously, please. But that's, you know, that's about it. Yeah. All right, we're gonna play this out because it's like 2 in the morning, and yeah, we're gonna play it out. I love you, couple people. Like, of course, Mario, your old cuz from the hood, man. No, yeah, well, you know what? If you ever think that you know what you're doing, you're going to stop trying to do better things. So it's good to not know what you're doing. But hopefully we can know something that we can provide good things for other people. So if you can't do anything else for anyone ever, and you're stuck at home and you just feel like you can't, even praying for people, positive thought, even love from afar, thinking about people, communicating and calling people, as we know, that is just a wonderful thing that we can do. That's one thing I do know. But most of the things on this earth are mysteries that God knows best. And that's what, like, for me, the greatest mysteries can be found in the Bible. And the greatest understandings of why people are the way we are and where we're headed as a species. And it's a really far out book, but it seems to all add up from the very beginning until even what it sees in the future to what very well almost has to happen on this earth. It's fascinating and awesome. Thanks for having you guys. I don't mean to preach to you guys. I'm heading off, and when I start heading to bed, I start to get spiritual in my thinking. So I hope that you all have a wonderful, super great, super spiritual, loving, enriched day tomorrow. The kind of day that would just, where you get a lot of good things done, and you have a lot of heart and feeling towards what you're doing in your work and your music, towards people that you're around. I'll try to do the same. with what I've got. There's a hammy Zoom coming soon. Yeah, I got to be in that. Hopefully I'll get reminded of that on Facebook. So to my Hamilton High homies, to my 3,000 concurrent viewers, peace out. You guys are awesome. I love you. Love you, Mario. Trent Hamilton, you're my favorite, funniest YouTuber ever. And I love your information and your enthusiasm for what you do. We'll see you next time, which I hope is tomorrow, because maybe I'll get this plugged in and be able to play this cool thing. And I'll play it on a different tuba. I got to go out with a bang. Hold on, I was about to stop it, but this is for you, my loyal listeners. We're going to rock out.